You're someone like a Nikki Haley who is going to profit from World War III. I think you're disqualified from being the president of the United States. And that's the real divide in the Republican Party. I do think we have a real fundamental ideological divide in the Republican Party, and we ought to be able to have that debate in the open. I think we're not having it right now. You wonder why, right? It's a bit of a mystery when you see the Lindsey Grahams or the Nikki Haleys or the John Boltons or the, other people of this persuasion, the Mike Pences, the Chris Christie wing of this party. Being now in the sport, I think I do have a much better understanding for why it's played the way that it is. It comes down, in most cases, some people do have ideological commitments that are outdated, that are earnest, but a lot of it comes down to money. The corrupting influence of super PACs on the process.
2 days later.
I think it's asinine to think somebody that worked in the defense industry should not be qualified to be president. I think people that never held public office, like you, maybe they're not qualified to be president. Anyway, we'll come back. We'll continue. Secretary of State, former Secretary.
All right, guys. So we got to talk about this pretty wild interview featuring Sean Hannity, who I am going to call Neocon Hannity after this interview right here, because this was a hell of a hit job interview right here from Sean Hannity versus Vivek Ramaswamy. Okay, this interview got personal. Okay, this is probably one of the most personal interviews I've ever seen in my life. All over a heated debate on Vivek Ramaswamy's comments about Nikki Haley and some of the neocons in the Republican Party. And the fact that the neocons of the Republican Party love to call for war, okay, instead of trying to be diplomatic and to promote peace, because we all know that they are bought and sold by the military-industrial complex, okay? We all know, okay? In times of war, or when people think that there's going to be war, defense stocks go up, right? Oil stocks go up, okay? And these companies donate to the politicians, right? And the politicians are incentivized to warmonger because of the financial incentive of one, having stocks in these companies, right? And then getting the campaign contributions as well too, okay? These politicians go on to become lobbyists for some of these companies. They go on to be on the board of some of these companies. Like, it is just clearly and obviously a toxic and corrupt relationship that does not benefit the American people, but again, benefits the defense contractors. Now, Vivek simply states this fact, okay, in his interview with Tucker Carlson, and he was discussing that. He brought up Dan Crenshaw, Lindsey Graham, Nikki Haley, and apparently Sean Hannity is going to take issue with this, right? He's going to take it personal, and he's going to sit up here on his television show and defend politicians taking massive sums from the defense contracting industry as if there's nothing wrong with it, right? There's no perverse incentive involved when politicians do that. And then Vivek Ramaswamy is basically going to play the trump card in this interview by bringing up Tucker Carlson. And at that point, Hannity is really going to lose it. So I want to talk about it, right? I want to react to this. But before I get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Noble Gold. Do you want to take control of your financial future, but you don't know where to start? Well, trust me, Noble Gold understands. Investing in precious metals may sound confusing, but the team at Noble Gold Investments makes it easy. Let's hear from actual Noble Gold investment customers. Quote, "The staff answer all my questions and help me every step of the way." Quote, "No pressure, sales tactics, just honest guidance." Quote, "Securing my future is less stressful thanks to Noble Gold's expertise. Don't settle for financial uncertainty. They'll suggest options to see if you can diversify into gold and silver." And right now, Noble Gold Investments is offering a free 5-ounce silver America the Beautiful bullion coin for qualifying accounts and rollovers. Don't settle for financial uncertainty. Noble Gold Investments has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and countless of 5-star reviews. So why wait? Go to noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. The only gold company I trust. And just remember, there's a risk with every investment and there's no guarantee of any kind.
Where if your campaign is principally being run by super PACs, people who can give unlimited amounts of money to your campaign, I don't think that befits the Republican Party. I think we need to be better than that. So, Sean, you and I may have a different view on that. But my view is, if you're making money off your time in government, then I don't think you're fit to be president of the United States. Well, more importantly, though, what's our policy? Stand with our allies while avoiding World War III. And that's where I'm at.
A lot of people don't think you're qualified because you weren't even a Republican or voting Republican until what, 2020?
Well, Sean, I think it depends on what your objectives with this interview are. I voted Libertarian in my first election. I voted Republican in 2020. You're right. I'm not a partisan hack. I come in from the outside.
Forgive you for your screw-up.
I'm an independent-minded patriot who speaks the truth. It sounds
to me like you just want to jump from the private sector yourself, where you made a lot of money. By the way, I applaud capitalism. I applaud successful people.
Sean, I applaud you for being so transparent about your objectives.
I actually think that people work in the defense of our country, in the defense industry, are playing a vital role for the cause of freedom. So I don't really call it a corrupting influence or suggest that somehow that's a corrupting influence. I actually like the experience that goes along with working for defense contractors. But I've got to listen.
One of the things I loved about that interview with Tucker, was we were actually able to have a thoughtful conversation and go deep into issues rather than this kind of political gotcha.
The point is this:
good. You go
on these interviews. Yeah, I have nothing but nice things to say. But here's your problem:
people should watch it.
You go on these shows, people quote your exact words, and you deny your own words. And I'm saying if you're going to be a presidential candidate and you're going to spend, I'm going to give you your exact words, either own it,
Sean, you have been sitting here for years talking about the fake news media.
But you played this all the time.
I'm enjoying this. You have been laughing about the fake news media how many times for the last several years, and now you're buying the mainstream media narrative when you know how corrupt it is.
I am following you. I am quoting your exact words.
Are a problem.
Did I not quote your exact words?
About Azerbaijan and Armenia.
Did I or did I not quote your exact words? Did I quote your exact words?
And Armenia, absolutely.
Thank you.
About Azerbaijan, yes, you did.
I've got time to go.
About a different topic, Azerbaijan, where people should actually get their own information rather than filtered through centralized media.
I think it's asinine to think somebody that worked in the defense industry should not be qualified to be president. I think people that never held public office, like you, they're not qualified to be president. Anyway, we'll come back. We'll continue. Secretary of State.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That was a hell of an interview. Now, I encourage you guys to watch the whole thing. Okay, because the whole thing is like 5 to 7 minutes. But basically, it starts out with Sean Hannity misquoting Vivek the same way all these people do and trying to attribute a quote to him talking about a situation that he wasn't talking about, right? Trying to basically smear Vivek Ramaswamy with the bigot card. Okay, you guys can watch the video for yourself. Okay, trying to say that he's playing up on some type of trope, right? This is what Sean Hannity was doing, okay? He was pulling the left-wing trick on Vivek Ramaswamy when he was talking about the influence of money in politics and how you have these politicians like Nikki Haley and the Lindsey Grahams of the world, the Dan Crenshaws, the politicians who always seem to want more war, not less war, how their decisions come down to money. And I've been talking about this with you guys. I've been telling you guys this. I've been showing you in the videos, guys. If you haven't figured out by now, you should know, right? I mean, I don't know how to make it more clear. What these politicians do is not based off of what people vote them into office to do. It's based off what the people who pay them while they're in office tell them to do, right? Or want them to do. That's the reality of politics, okay? Money in politics is a corrupting influence, right? It just is. Again, you see what's happening with the Speaker of the House race, okay? Why do they keep nominating people like Kevin McCarthy and Steve Scalise, even though the people don't want them? It's because they're the best fundraisers, right? They're the best fundraisers. They raise the most money. And really what politics is about is who can raise the most money, because most elections can be bought, right? It can be bought. You can buy elections. There's actual real math behind this, okay? In regards to how much money does it cost to buy an election in regards to ad spending, spending on campaigns, things like that. There's a science behind this stuff, guys, right? I'm telling you, I'm keeping it 100. And the gatekeepers of this corrupt system are people like Sean Hannity, who shield for the establishment, like he's doing right here in this interview with Vivek Ramaswamy, where he basically takes it personal. What Vivek Ramaswamy said about Nikki Haley, which is that, hey, because she's under the corrupting influence of money, particularly she's being paid by defense contractors, her campaign is being funded by defense contractors, she's worked on the board of defense contractors, she's in bed with them, obviously, that has a incentive that could make it more likely that she is somebody that will support war, right? That she may support putting American lives on the ground in foreign lands to fight a war that we really probably don't, know what the ending is, right? Or we don't have a real plan for how to end or what the consequences are going to be of fighting this war. Like, a lot of the wars that we've gotten to in the past. Yeah, because the powers that be, the military industrial complex, the defense contractors, they get rich, right? They get rich. Again, you've seen it, guys. In times of war, the stock prices of these defense contractors go up. They go up. Oil prices go up. All this stuff is what is corrupting the system, right? That's what drives these politicians in the decisions they make. Sean Hannity knows that. And Nikki Haley is the darling of the establishment, right? They are who they actually are pushing as the GOP candidate that might be able to beat Trump, right? It's going to be Nikki Haley. Once she flames out, it'll be Glenn Youngkin, okay? That's the plan. They're going to rotate the guys, right? Ron DeSantis didn't work out, go to the next one. That one don't work out, go to the next one. So anyways, Sean Hannity tries to hit back at Vivek for saying that the neocon queen is not qualified because she's corrupt by saying, well, some people don't think you're qualified because you haven't voted Republican all your life, right? Which, again, is fascinating because by Sean Hannity's same logic of not having voted Republican all your life and not being in the public sector, okay, by the same logic, Trump wasn't qualified to run for president in 2016, okay, by Sean Hannity's logic. And what did that result in, right? One of the best presidents we've ever had, right? Sean Hannity, I believe, is a big fan of Trump's presidency, or so he says, right? That's what he says on air, okay? That's what he says on his network. But, again, he's trying to pretend like Vivek's unqualified just because he didn't vote Republican all his life, as if that's a bad thing, right? Just because he's not a member of the establishment, because he has a different perspective, okay? Because he's not a neocon. Again, while trying to pretend that working in the defense contractor industry or the current relationship that our politicians have with the defense contractor industry, not just defense, but just the private sector in general, is not a corrupting relationship. It is. It 100% is a corrupting relationship. And to pretend like it's not is supporting the system of the corruption that is politics, the rot of politics. You can't say that you're for draining the swamp and then turn around and say, I don't think there's anything wrong with Nikki Haley taking money from defense contractors or working on their boards while also making decisions that benefit them and, starting wars and stuff. Like, you can't say that. It doesn't make sense. Because we all know that money does corrupt people. But this is where Vivek got Sean Hannity. This is where Sean Hannity really lost it, right? Fox News was freaking out. I don't think Vivek is going to be back on Fox News anymore. I don't think so after this. Vivek bought up Tucker, right? The guy that shall not be named on Fox News. He bought up Tucker, and Hannity really lost it, right? Hannity really lost it, okay? Hannity was fumbling for words, okay? Fumbling for words when Vivek on Fox News told the viewers, go watch the interview. Go watch the interview with Tucker, right? Go watch the interview with Tucker. It was a great interview, okay? You should watch that interview because you're misquoting me, okay? You're trying to smear me by misquoting me, trying to make me seem like a bigot, like I'm trying to play up on tropes, when I can just tell your viewers, go watch the interview, right? If you want the full context. Again, Hannity really lost it, right? He really lost it. And then he told Vivek, I don't think you're qualified to run for president, right? I don't think you're qualified to run for president. He said it was personal. Again, it's amazing. Hannity, I don't think he's ever been as upset on his show as I saw him, which tells you everything you need to know. This guy got upset literally defending the corrupt relationship between politicians and corporate America, defending it to its core, and getting upset because Vivek is calling out the establishment. Tells you everything you need to know about Hannity, right? Again, it tells you everything you know about these guys that come out here and claim, well, I'm anti-establishment. I'm a patriot. But when it comes to actually challenging the establishment in the corrupt relationship, this man is defending it like his life depends on it, right? Maybe it does. Maybe his livelihood does depend on it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But again, my final point is this, guys. This may be traditionally a left-wing idea, but I think there's some ideas on the left that are actually good ideas for the right. If the right is serious about actually draining the swamp. If you're serious about draining the swamp, one of the things that the right has to get on board with is eliminating the corrupt influence of money in politics. Okay, we have to ban stock trading. We need to get rid of super PACs. We need to clean up and reform the campaign finance system because it is what is causing the rot in our politics. This is why these people go to Congress and they don't act on behalf of the American people. This is why our debt has been ran up. Okay, this is why our country's on the verge of collapsing financially. This is why we have inflation. Again, look at the stimulus package. People always want to complain about stimulus checks, but it's not the stimulus checks that really caused inflation, guys. What really caused inflation is that the vast amount of the money, a vast majority of the money, actually went to corporate America. It was corporate socialism that drove inflation in this country. And it's time for us to tell the truth about how these politicians have sold out. And as long as these politicians are sold out to corporate America, it doesn't matter who you vote into office because they can just be bought, right? They can be bought. So, I mean, I'm just saying, Vivek is saying the quiet part out loud, and you see how the establishment gets upset and they melt down when confronted with the truth about the corruption and the rot in the system. It's truly amazing stuff. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.